Greetings, my beloved friends. Let us give thanks. Heavenly Father, I great I am, our source, our creator. I come humbly before you, seeking your wisdom, your knowledge, your enlightenment to assist my readers, my beloved friends, in understanding the word that you provided to this servant, that may also help them understand the event that are unfolding before humanity. Grant them peace and above all things, unconditional love. And so it is. Greetings again, my friends. I am delighted to be back here with you again. So this will be my third video, as I promised. I took some time off, and the purpose of it is simply to transgress the 6 days of the timeline that I discussed with you previously. As you know, we did the third, the 6 days, and currently we're on the 9th day. These are essential moments. I cannot stress the value and the importance of this period of time now. As I said, I took time to go camping. I took the family. We went out camping. I took my grandchildren with me. And the idea behind was to spend time with Gaia, to be among the elements that are currently really actively involved in all aspects of Gaia, or Earth, both from the bird, trees, the land, everything. The elements, the spirits are all over the place right now. Of course, some of you may not may have become aware of it, but let me tell you, surely there's plenty of them. But anyway, we went camping, and it was wonderful. It was cool. It was not, but the children were able to go swimming as I basically strolled, stay back, and spend most of the time talking to the elements. I know this sounds a little bit, I would like just the word weird for that time being, but let me share with you some of the ideas that I found. First of all, they are spirits. I know it's in childhood, we always were spoken in fairy tales and anything from Tinkerbells to various other things that our children had become accustomed to see in the movies. But the reality that exists. Okay, we do have fairies. We take care of the nature of the trees, the plants, the flowers, and everything. So it was an opportunity, because I knew that during the 6 days of this timeline, currently that I passed, was the essential time in which you can make contact, or at least make an effort to make contact with the various elements of Gaia. That include the earth, water, of course, the wind and fire. All the elements are involved, like I say again, in the forest. And we just happen to have rain too, but at the same time we have sunlight and we have warm weather. But like I say again, I took most of the time for meditation and for preparing for this coming timeline of the 9 days, and of course sharing with you. It was revealing, to say the least, and satisfying also. I found much peace. I understood many of the elements that I needed to know. And I was also given the opportunity to kind of begin to think and revise the content of this. Some of you ask me, where do I get this idea? Well, there's no such thing as an idea. This is it. This novel, this book that it was originally entrusted to me, okay, of various events that were to take place. in 1981. What's the last day? December, Christmas Day of the 1981. As I mentioned in very previous video, it was not until 1987 when really things got, shall we call, serious. When they gave me a large portion of what it was perceived back then a demise for humanity. It frightened me. I cannot tell you, the word frightened is not really what it happened to me. So what happened was that I immediately began to get busy, in other words, and do not procrastinate it. So as you can see, the second thing I learned back in 1987 was this: the power of the quartz. Crystal, quartz, they have various different functions, but I can tell you this one is playing a major role right now. For those that are interested in various aspects of everything, the quartz, believe it or not, are part of a very unique situation or events that are occurring right now. Call them the vibrating elements right now of the earth. And yeah, they're scattered over the earth. The United States of America is very lucky to have one, and that's in Arkansas. I could sit here and for another hour explain how the quartz are intertwined with the aspect of the all this that is taking place right now, this ascension, this evolution, this transformation. But it's a serious matter. The reason I want to bring it to this point is because the quartz are the key to feeling and understanding what is taking place. I know because I have done this in my own self, finding out if there was something out there publicly, of course, publicly, by the news media relating to any of the other events. And there's nothing. If it's anything else that deals with politics, social things, and the instability that exists in human nature or not, and that's in error tremendously. But what I want you to know is that since they're not providing you with any, doesn't mean things are not happening. My dear beloved friends, if I can call you my family of mine, let me tell you, big things are taking place, both in the cosmic and galactic level, right down to the human level right now. Humanity is going to various elements of transformation. I like to call it evolution, but I think it's easier for understanding a transformation. And I got to use the concept here of the butterfly. Most of you are very much aware of how a butterfly comes to evolve and how beautiful they are once that evolvement is completed. Well, that's where we are. We were in the cocoon for a while. Now, during these 9 days, you're actually, believe it or not, becoming alive inside of that cocoon. A human kind of sample that I'm giving you. And all the things that once we knew are going to change. Not some so drastically, but at least in the nature of consciousness. Yes, your thoughts are going to change. The way you view others is going to change. The way you view yourself is going to change. The way that you create, do, may, okay, it's going to change. Those things, I call it manifestations. Your manifestation will be different. Your emotional state, all the negativity that exists on this earth, on this planet, it's going to change. It won't be abruptly or automatically like most people would like or wish it to be. No. It'll be sequential. Certain stages have to take place. And this is what this video is about. We started already in 31 May. Okay, the June process of the 9 days that would end at or nearby already on the 11th and the 12th of June of this year. We had not even noticed it much about anything of the days of June. But yesterday, for example, we celebrated the great Battle of Midway, in which it changed Okay? The manifestation of the war and made America succeed. Then today begins 77 years ago. For those who like to keep numbers, 77 years ago was the landing in Normandy, the beginning of the ending of World War II. But you have noticed that there hasn't been much flair or any kind of festivities toward that. Really hasn't. What we're noticing in the news is really spending more time about the differing argument that is going on, whether it be in Congress, White House, people. All things that are irrelevant to everything that is going on. It's as if the dark side, which is happening to be the media, it's really making every effort possible to keep from you to being aware that the great things are going on. Now, you got no idea, but I can tell you, I can relate to. There are many things that are happening. Physically, your body is going through some transformation. You may not be realizing, but you have aches and pains that you may not even have before. Your sense of taste, the smell is changing too. Okay, you may find yourself wanting something that you didn't like before. You may find yourself also being dizzy or a little bit disoriented, and sometimes maybe a little bit with a little upset stomach. There are manifestations on the body. I call it the 35 styles of symptoms. Okay, and it's different for everybody. Some people may only have 2, 1. Some people may have 4. Okay, it may help. Some of you may feel like when you're complaining to your people nearby you, they may think you are a hypochondriac. Okay, but in reality, is that the waves that are coming in, and the major one, the big one, the granddaddy of them all, it's coming soon in June. And you have to be prepared. This is what I want to emphasize, family. You need to be prepared for this. This is no joking matter. I know right now that you may not see it because right now we're creating our own reality. We are. And some of us, and I'll be honest, can be on the third dimension, the old earth, the old earth of, how to put it bluntly, the old earth of the Clinton, the Obamas. We're not thinking about the new one, okay? The new earth of the indigo children. And that's something I want to emphasize to you. These 9 days right now, are the greatest thing for indigo children, the children that were born in the year 2010. If you happen to have a child, a grandchild that was born during that period of time, okay, they're 10 or 11 years old, any child was born is called an indigo child. It's a unique child that is coming with quality and characteristic directly, that we are now being taught by the angelic beings for us to realize and understand things. They already have it. So by the end of these 9 days, folks, I am assuring you, those children are going to start behaving differently. You may find them a little bit odd, but if you have a grandchild, are you taking care of? You watching it. They're going to be more aware of everything is going. They're going to be their way of expressing themselves is going to be different, and this is going to be marvelous. Because I am experiencing it right now with 2 of my grandchildren, especially the ones that went with me camping. What a delight it is to hear my granddaughter talk like she's 15 years old. And I'm going like, wow, this is fantastic. And then on the other hand, okay, her brother, okay, my grandson, he is very articulated in things. He has constantly observing. And he wouldn't leave my sight. He would hold me and he would walk with me. He would stay by me. He wanted to be alone. He wanted to be with his grandfather. And I had to tell my family, I said, the reason he's like that is because he knows what's going on. He's already ahead. He understands who are the ones who are already, okay, within that, shall we call, track, that journey, that path. And they like to get together with that because they're going to start disclosing to the elderly. Listen what I'm saying, friends. They're going to start disclosing to the elderly, okay, you, me, the grandkids, even the mothers, situations and eloquent language and perceptions that you're going to go like, where did they get this? And imagine that the indigo children are going to be the key to the new earth. So you will have an opportunity to actually perceive, live the moment. When the 11th of June, the 11th of June, I want you to stay with me. June is the middle day. The 10th of June, mark it in your calendar, 72 hours. Remember the 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. It's in the Bible. Are the key, or is the key to many of the things that will follow. Okay? So you have right now 72 hours coming on the 10th, beginning on the 10th, the 11th, the second day, and the 12th, the third day. I even get goosebumps just to think about it. During those 72 hours, magnificent is going to happen. Okay? And this is where this video, it is imperative. I want you to start making in your mind a book of remembrance. Would have started on the 26th of May. I hope that whatever I provided for you, you were able to at least to begin to understand these manifestations that is taking place, all this event. These 9 days, which are already into it, are very critical. Every day, a great thing happens. Okay, I observe in YouTube that fireballs came down and landing close to a volcano, and it's something hasn't been seen in millions of years, and they're all wondering, oh, well, this only happened. No, what it is, these are signals. Okay, these are signals to us that moment is just around the corner. What is the moment? Most of you have been asking. The moment is the shift of consciousness. That what you once knew in the third level of the old earth, it's not longer going to be. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Humanity has been given the chance, the opportunity, the greatest of all opportunity to rise above the mundane world we lived in. Okay, the Clintons and everybody behind us over the year, we've been for hundreds of years struggling. Okay, democracy was just a joke. It was not real. I mean, it was something to keep us contained. Okay, we were happy, sort of like a bird. He's happy being in a golden cage and it being fed and given everything, but he only knows to fly from one end of that cage to the other one. Okay, everything is manifesting it differently. So therefore, your conscience, your thinking, even your belief, and this is what's going to be very difficult for some of you, is the belief. There's something that you have learned to try to understand it and say, okay, how can I get rid of that? This is not what I know. This is not what is in my book of remembrance. Why then all of a sudden you telling me I got to do a new one? Well, because the old has passed away. It's gone. Just like the Aztecs said back in, on the 21st of December of the year 2012. That was it. It's finished. We're beginning. And we are on that beginning. We're in the mid right of it. We're on the summit of the great events. This will go all the way to the end of December, the 2021, and hang on just about from 2022 to 2024. I hope to be here, that I can continue providing you everything that I'm sharing with you. I place it in this novel, in this book. Okay? Even the original chaos that was already prognosticated, the Great War, it's in there. It didn't happen. So you will say, oh, gee whiz, guess what? It didn't happen. The reason it didn't happen is because humanity took a change, made a change. Did the novel have an impact on it? Yes. Yes. Have I not done that originally? After I've seen 1987, you have no idea what I was showing in 1987 on the dream. I was frightened. I would have decided to die rather than to go through all that was before. That was what took place. The blessing from 87 to 2012 was important. There were midpoints, mid waves between 91, 93, and 97. It was still not until 1997 when we began to see the difference. It was until 2000 when 9/11 took place, the beginning of the century, that then we had the ticket and have overcome, have become humane, caring, loving, compassionate people. And everything's got changed. And ever since then, we're doing that. That's the key of that novel. That's the key of that now. Now, so what would call this video, Mr. Garcia, some of you would say? Well, I would call it to the great heroes. I mentioned this before, God chosen ones and who are, but the great heroes that I want to recognize here are known as star seeds and light workers. And there are many on this earth that have been working, struggling, working very, very hard to ensure humanity has a chance to become a galactic family. And that is the truth. I cannot make you believe it. I can only assure you that you will believe it down the road, because it will happen. You'll be confronted with a situation that you have to understand and believe that there's more than humanity in this galaxy. And you will learn one of the greatest gifts of them all, of a God, the great source, the great I am, Yahweh, who loves. There's no boundaries to his love. He doesn't hate. He doesn't judge. He doesn't punish. He never looked at us, humanity, to be any lesser than the grand prize, the grand creation. Oh yeah, you're going to learn that too. And you're going to learn also that with all this transformation, with this change that we have today, technology is going to change. Medicine, pharmaceutical, all are going to change. And you're going to find out the best truth, the wonderful, greater truth of all the galaxies, that you, a human being, is divine. And that you have the trait and characteristic of the great source of God. That the Spirit of God is in you. And that is the element of these 9 days. During the first 3 days, there was the, shall we call, the recognition of 3 individuals, 3 personalities. Okay? And that was being the villain, the victim, and the victors. You want to call it sort of like the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think that may be the best way to put it. The villains were determined to distract you and victimize you, hold you down, not letting you believe, knowing very well that you have free choice, free will. And then we were the victorious one. They're the one who believed, the one who felt awakened and began to rise, such as your servant here. I've been waiting for this. Oh, my dearest friends, you have no idea how long I've been waiting for this. Not hundreds of years, thousands. And it's a delight, joy, happiness. Remember what I told you. This was the key to everything. Think like a king, but act like a child. And the reason is because now, more than ever, you must love yourself. You must now be the one that look after the well-being of you and bring the joy and the laughter and the happiness that once you had and lost once you were put on that golden cage. But now, that golden cage is disappearing. And by the end of the ninth day, which is, I would say, the 10, 11, or 12, those 3 days are going to be fantastic, awesome, magnificent, extraordinary. And the reason is because there'll be a new humanity rising above the water, never, ever, ever, ever to return to the old ways. So if you're thinking right now that all this stuff that has happened for the election, all that has happened about the money and stimulus stuff, the budgets, the inflation, the economy, all this stuff that worrying you, stop worrying. Stop worrying. Relax. Relax. Trust God. This is your hour. Trust God. Nothing else gonna matter more. He's got a handle on this. Trust me, you have no idea. Jesus, Yeshua, is one of the great, I'm gonna say it, generals dealing on with humanity, but there are many, many, many more angelic forms, creatures, shall we call them beings, that have been here. They have come out here for this special moment of humanity. Some of you may be asking, will I ever get to see them? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it may be sooner than you think. Are you prepared? Are you prepared to meet an ET? Or shall we say, a spaceship? It'll surprise you to know that our governments around the world, I've been talking to them for a long time. And sooner or later, they're going to need to say, okay, folks, this is where it is. See how blindfolded we've been? So all of this is changing. And it will begin and it will end very soon. All I can tell you right now, for the time being on this one is, in this video, besides the 3 victims that we mentioned earlier, the 3 personality, it is more of thankfulness or gratitude. And this is what I want you to do in your heart. Gratitude is the key to it all over the next few days. I mentioned charity in my previous video, but now it's gratitude. Thankfulness. You must, I will say you must, because I would like you to begin to feel the shift, the change that is taking place. Be grateful for the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food that is provided by Mother Nature, Gaia, and of course, to the sun that comes every morning from the east and warms the earth. There are no limitations to the things you can give thanks. Even the things you can do through the store, when you find something on the floor, pick it up, put it up. Whether you realize it or not, you have just done something marvelous. To see something sitting in there and leave it on the floor and saying, oh, that's someone else that's been paid to do that. Practice charity, simplicity on everything. But above all things, tell the Lord that you're happy, you're content with what He has provided for you. Because greater givings are coming. Believe me, greater givings are coming. Most of us may not realize it because we often preoccupy, like I mentioned earlier, with other things. This is the era, and this is something that, most people don't see. This is the era of the changing countenance. Countenance. What a big word, isn't it? But it means much more than that. Okay? You are the key to everything on this earth right now. You, humanity, you yourself, you, your children, your spouse, whatever relationship you are, this has been given to you. Okay? I am relaxed, believe it or not. Maybe I'm showing it right now. But the reason I'm relaxed is because I was fortunate to be given this in 1981 and 1987. and eyewitnesses, of course, to December of 2012. And I'm right here, right now, on the 6th of June, okay, of the year 2021. And I was exhausted. And these last few days, like the butterfly, I was able to take flight. And now I found the freedom that some of you are going to go through very soon. So that's what we got. We got 5 more days. 5 more days. So most of you say, what can we do in 5 more days? Well, right now, this is the period, and the 6 days first. Let me go back 6 days. During the 6-day period, it was a period for the great heroes, the heroics, as I call them, the star seeds. The star seed. What is a star seed? Well, a star seed is a creature, an individual, a being that has lived in a higher dimension. It's gonna get heavy here, so stay with me. There's some that come from the higher dimensions. There are various dimensions. They're parallel universe. They volunteered to come down to this earth and help Gaia thousands of years ago. To be here. To experience the trials and tribulation what humanity will go through. In other words, we became attached to humans to help them through what they had to go through. We went through it too. Yes, as I've mentioned before, just as well as some humans died by the sword, burned, crucified, stoned, whatever it was, we were too. And many times, our pain and our death were far more than they were to a human being. And in other times too, you might have found that the human being many times cooperated with other people to bring harm to the starseed. But we were what? We knew why we was done for. And we did. Okay? So that's the key. And I thank God, and I thank the great Creator for the opportunity given us. It is now the opportunity to say thank you to those starseed. And I'd like to emphasize the most greatest thing of a starseed is called the empath. Empath. We are the ones that we too would absorb your pain, your emotions. We were like sponges sucking, absorbing, the pain and the suffering. We related everything that you felt twice as much on us. And that's what those I call the heroes of today, of these 6 days, were called empath. Oh yeah, they suffer greatly. You find them still, many of them, they're isolated. They're quiet to themselves. They don't do much. They don't like politics, by the way. They're a lot of humane. Most of them find themselves being social workers, psychologists, religious individuals, and there to try to help humanity, to relate to them. And they're unique creatures. And many of you have already have met them, and many of you have already dealt with them. Okay? Now, for the next 9 days, which are already started, there's another level of creatures or individuals, okay, that I call them heroes, the heroics ones. So these are the light workers. This is what they're working right now, light workers. What is a light worker? Well, a light worker is one who battles darkness. Oh yeah, darkness is very real, more real than you can imagine. But in 2012, all that changed. And ever since then, light workers have been battling everything from politics, social dilemmas, religious things, economy stuff, you name it. The light workers are the key. They are the one, really, the heroes of these 9 days. And they're working hard right now to ensure that you, humanity, have a chance. And so is Gaia, Mother Nature, this earth, to establish a new earth. And I'm going to show you. Oh, yes, 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 yes. We're going to have a new earth. Now, the thought that comes to some of you is, what happened to the whole earth? Well, let me put it this way. You do not want to think about the whole earth. Okay? It's not going to get better. It will get worse, right? So therefore, you have an opportunity, whether you like it or not. You may have an opportunity, like I say again, to go up anyway, to be transformed and be again a member of the new earth. Now, a lot of you can go to YouTube and you will find, I'm going to be very simple. I know I'm jumping, but it's important that I'm trying to say as much as I can. What is happening today regarding what is true and what is not, and what is simply a fantasy or something that is a fable? Imagine going to a place where there is a buffet, a large buffet, food until you can see from one end to the other end. But each specialty is made by one chef. Okay, so each one has their own opinion. Okay, that their food is going to be better than the guy next door. You determine what you want to eat. It is you. That is your reality. That is your free choice. So you can go down that line and pick up whatever you want. You may question once in a while the cook, or I would say the chef, and say, "Oh, what is this and what is that?" And of course, they're going to try to convince you that, "Oh, this is delicious. If you trust me, believe me, you're gonna be disappointed." So on YouTube, you're going to find a lot of people giving doomsday and conflict and political upheavals, and now you're finding problems with medical things, and you're finding problems with chemical, pharmaceutical stuff. I mean, you're going to find all of this over there, everywhere. So this all-you-can-eat buffet, you have to be very, very picky in what you want to eat. In other words, you're the one that have to determine, assess, and analyze what is the information that I really can see as being somewhat valid. And I do that. I like to observe them. I like to see that. I can tell you, I only got 2 or 3 that I really, really pay attention to it, because I'm already aware of those issues. I'm aware of it. They're coming. After all, they are in that novel that I wrote, or that at least that I published. It was given to me. All of it was given to me by the higher order. In fact, I can tell you why I named the most important character there, Michael. Because it was Michael. Oh yeah, the archangel, who gave me the gift, who gave me the message. So I'll hold on to you very much. And now during these moments, I'm glad, I'm joyful, I'm thankful, I am blessed and be here this time. So for the light workers, they're going to be the healers. As the great star seeds being the warriors. Okay. Well, guess what? The light workers are the healers. And that's the truth. You will find out that within you exists, in the Spirit of God, the ability to heal yourself. You will learn that too. I'll guarantee you, by 2024, you won't believe what is going to happen to the pharmaceutical companies, and you will not know what's going to happen to the medical field. There are going to be more people getting cured, and medicals are going to be going like, how do you do this? How is it? What happened? And you will be able to relate to them. I healed myself. Impossible? Mm-mm. Very truthful, very real. So these are the things that are yet to come. And that's what I want you to let you know about this video. It is going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. I will continue being here, you. Okay? I don't care that I only have 15 or 16 or 17 people that view my video. They already told me. It's not the numbers that counts now. They told me it's what the ones that are coming to seek you. When all this takes place, they're going to be looking for people who had, or at least had the ability, to go through all of this and remain calm, composed, and they're going to ask us, what did you have? What did you do? How can you went through all of this and you remain calm? And simple reason is, I remain calm because I believe and I trust God. And so with that, I leave you for this part of the video. I will continue on on another one shortly. So here's my request, my friends. Please, trust God. I know that many of you are hanging to that thread of that rope that we learn in our secular organizations. And that's fine. That is fine. Okay? But now, you know the love of God. Doesn't it make sense that you can trust Him now? That all of this that is taking place, it is really He who is in charge. The dark side is not. None of the negativity that we learn in those secular places is the one that is really telling us. It is God. And He is inside of you. If you search for Him, He'll speak to you. Believe me. He does to everybody that seeks Him. Why not you? Be strong. Be wise. Find the answer of everything in God, the Spirit in you. You are magnificent. You are great. You have no idea how great you are. You are divine. Don't fool yourself by the aches and pain. Don't fool yourself by the white hair like mine. Don't fool yourself by the deception of your eyes so that you can now wear glasses and everything. All of this will be a thing of the past. On the new earth, there won't be need for those. And on the new earth, technology will change everything in your life, including electricity. Imagine that. Having perpetual electricity without the need of carbon or of fuels or anything, all done by magnetism. Magnets. There are people right now, there are children right now. Children. Indigo children already with their plans of inventions in their minds and in their hearts. They are the discoverer to a better life for you and for me. So let's encourage them, watch them, love them. Don't patronize them. Don't scold them. Let them be able to think through their trials and errors. Of course, keep an eye on them, but don't deprive them. They are the future of this earth. And believe me, the ones that are born in America, like my grandchildren, they are going to be the majestic future of this earth. Now, a little something here to stir your minds, as I hope you haven't fallen asleep yet. What if you can live to be 300 years old instead of the 120 years that he was originally promised in the Bible? What if you can live the years of Noah, of his generations? Food for thought. Is it possible? Oh, yes, very much. And you're looking at one that is going to be there on the new earth to be at least 300 years old. May the Lord bless you, and may the Lord shine upon you. May the greatness of the Lord be upon you today, illuminate you, bring you peace, love, conformity. Move your heart to the splendor of His love and His peace. Embrace a tree. Talk to a flower. Talk to a plant. Tell them how much you appreciate that. And the Lord will show you a part that will run through the deepest part of your whole body, from the top of your head down to the bottom, like a cold chill, and you experience the energy of the shift. Until then, God bless you, keep you safe. Looking forward to again do my next video in a few hours. And so it is. God bless, my friends.